Welcome everyone to another one of my Blender tutorials, and in this last tutorial we had a beer bottle and we'd put a label on it, and this is the one that I've been working on previously. And you see in the texture mode we got a label on there, so I decided I would make another one and show you how to put a cap on your beer bottle here. So we're going to demonstrate that. And there's a couple ways you can go about it. I just want to point out one way you could do. We get it in object mode, and I've got my modifiers turned off temporarily. You can let's see. Okay, so one thing you can do, you can go ahead and put a cylinder in there and modify it a little bit. And but anyway, I mean, I was going to show you a way that I think might save you a little bit of time and give you a little better look on your bottle. And what I'm going to do here is we're going to go in edge select mode. We're going to select an edge here. Let me get the beer bottle selected and put it in the edit mode. What I'm going to do is right here, we're going to select one of these edge rings from our beer bottle. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit Shift D, and and we're still in the edit mode there. So we can pull this ring up here. Alright, so now you've got something that's going to fit pretty good on your bottle, and it's already kind of gauged to the size you want. And what you do while you're in the edit mode, see, it doesn't show up here yet. You hit the letter P and select by loose parts. Now you have this thing called beer bottle. Well, actually it's called beer bottle. We're going to rename this. This mesh down here is our beer bottle, and this little ring here is our template. So we're going to call this we're going to rename this beer bottle cap. So with this technique, you already got pretty much your size set of how big around you want it. Now you want to go into the edit mode, which I believe, yeah, on the edit mode, and select all, and just hit F to face to create a face for this. Now we're going to go extrude in the Z axis. No, E and Z. Extrude this up a little bit. Look at this from the front ortho. Maybe we want to get this up just a little bit more. And you know, every beer bottle cap is slightly rounded on the top, and I've been really trying to figure out a way to really get this down, but I've got a couple of things you can do. If you hit E again and just click and then scale in, that will give you some edge loops on the top there. Now what I did here is you go to Control R and just put a bunch of them in there, like so. A to deselect. And also, what you want to do, you want to close off the top of this cap of this triangular fan by hitting Alt M at center. Now we go in the vertex select mode, and the middle vertex is already selected, so you can go Control plus to select out for your rings. And now what I want to do is go into the proportional editing. I'm going to pick this Zephyr influence, and we're going to drag this up a little bit. So we're going to hit G, and okay, back up a little bit. We'll hit G again. We'll scale this, the influence of this, in just a little bit, because we want to get sort of a now I didn't quite get it there, so I found another way to get just a little bit of a bevel on it here. Let's go back into line mode, select this ring and hit Control B, and now we can make a little bit of a bevel there. I'd like to get a little more beveled, but I can't seem to. Maybe if we just pull up the middle vertex. Actually, we need to increase the selection a little bit. Let's see if we can do it now. Still not quite what I want. Let's see. We'll expand this a little bit. Control Z because I shifted to the side just a little. Well, we're going to call this close. Can't quite get what I want. I could do a Shift A Control. Let's try this. We'll try one more little thing and then we'll move on from there. Shift Alt S. It's not quite what I want. Maybe if we select some edge loops, maybe we can get the yeah, whoop. I just want the edge rings of these edge loops rather. Shift Alt. Now I'm using Shift Alt S, which is to spare. Well, that's still not quite what I want. But we'll go with, nah, let's back up. We're just going to take it at that. Okay, so I'm going to move on, and once I find out how to do it, I'll show you. You could do it by adding a sphere on the top, but I don't quite want to go there. I've used the, I'm using the cap as the ring as a template, so we'll move on from there. And I'm going to click the see-through mode, and I'm going to select faces. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to hide this top part. Turn this back off. And we'll go back in the edge select mode. Now we'll go to the vertex mode. We got it mixed up. We're going to select every other vertex here. And go around the cap. These are going to put these the teeth in our cap so that where it crimps to the edge of the bottle. So you select every other one. I've gotten used to doing a little finger dance here between the Shift and the Alt. I lift off the Shift and hold the Alt to rotate it around, then hold down the Shift to select another vertex. Okay. Now I haven't deleted the bottom of the cap, but we'll do that. So we're going to scale this out a little bit, like so. Well, you know, I'm going to turn off the proportional editing. Now scale it out, like so. Alright, so now we're going to go into the face select mode, and we're going to get rid of this bottom face, like so. And we got the top of this hidden out, and you'll see why in a minute. Because when I do this bevel on these creases, these teeth, or what do you want to call them? Oh, I'm going to go to the edge select mode and just select every other edge. Like so. Alright, so now what we're going to do is going to Control B with the bevel modifier, and you can drag this out, or you can go down here to the amount. I've got 4 segments, so I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to deselect that. Now we're going to select every other crease here, and do the same thing. You know, I thought it seemed like they could write a script where you could select every other vertex or every other edge loop, but it's something to think about. So now we've got our edges, or our teeth, what are you going to call them. I'm going to hit Alt H and reveal our top once again. So we got a fairly good looking cap here, and I'm going to make just a few adjustments. We could scale it down by the Z-axis a little bit. Let's see. I got the okay. Shift Alt C. Bring it to the center of mass. That helps. SZ, and we're gonna tweak this just a little bit. So now we got a pretty good looking cap there. We're going to the solid mode, and we'll turn off this wire again. I don't need to have that on. So you got a fairly good looking cap there, passive one, and I want to solidify this a little bit to add that touch of reality to it. So we're going to add a solidify, and I believe that's thick enough. And have I already got a okay, we got our, now we'll add our subsurf. Something's not quite right here. Turn on smooth shading. There we go. So now we got a fairly passable bottle cap there. Maybe if I reverse these and put the surf on top, doesn't seem like it makes a lot of difference. Well, we'll go with this, and we'll turn on the smooth shading. And look, it makes a lot of difference here. So there's your beer bottle cap. Okay. Now I want to add a I want to go with a new material here, and I'm going to put together a mix shader with a default, with a diffuse, and a glossy, and so it's still the glass material. Let me make sure I got this straight here. Okay, we don't need, oh. Alright, so we got our, I'm going to make this kind of a light tan color. And then we're going to use our picker here to make both these the same. So we got somewhat of a metallic cap with a little bit of a tint of color to it. We'll bring up the roughness a little bit on both of these. So now what I want to do is we can check this out just a little bit. Now I've showed you how to do the UV mapping, which is labeled at the bottom, so I'm not going to go into that, but you can do the same thing you did with the bottle here. You go up here to your bottle cap, and you can unwrap it, and you'll have a, you know what you want to have, a seam. I'll show you where you want your seam at. I'll go that far. Of course, you want to turn off your modifiers temporarily. you probably would want your seam to be right here. Matter of fact, I'm just going to go ahead and unwrap this and show you what I did with it. We'll mark a seam. So now we got our seam, and select all of it. Pull this up a little bit. Now you can actually, I like to go to UV wrapping, UV unwrap, and then just hit U, and this is going to be the part that you want to now see, this bottle was a little bit distorted, so when I copied that loop, I got this kind of a weird looking cap. And let me go back and see if I can fix this. Tell you what, we'll make another seam here. Because you might want to put some artwork on the very edge of this thing. Now we'll see how it looks. We'll reset this. Well, we still got a weird looking edge cap there. I believe that's from the because the top of the bottle was a little bit off. But anyway, so that's how what you want to do here. What you're gonna have for your artwork on the top. Just hit L. Maybe you want to like minimize this one a little bit, because you're not going to put anything here. Once you make a bottle with a, it doesn't have a defect in the top, then you might use this to put, the text around the side of the cap. But we're not going to use this, so you can just, set this aside somewhere down in the corner. And take your big map and move it out and get it as big as you want, like so. Hit L and make this as big as possible. Cut down on the pixelization for your map. And so that's how you do it. Anyway, I'm out here, and I hope you enjoy this tutorial. Thanks. Bye.